American arcades, popular in the 80s to 90s, yet have fallen out of grace due to the rise of console gaming. Though they have seen a resurgence with Dave & Buster's and Round 1 arcades all across the country, to me there's only one reason to go to the arcades, and that reason is the rhythm games. Yet with arcades being closed in California for an extended period of time, I can't really play them. So, instead of doing nothing, I might as well talk about one of my favorite rhythm games since the 1 year I actually started getting into the genre. But that's enough of an introduction. The game I want to talk about today is called Dancerush Stardom, or Dancerush for short. If you are currently watching this video, you might be wondering, what is Dancerush? To answer that question, Dancerush is a rhythm game created by Konami under their Bemani line of rhythm games. Some notable titles under the Bemani brand include Sound Voltex, Beatmania 2DX, and most notably Dance Dance Revolution, with Dancerush being the newest addition to the Bemani line of rhythm games. And in my personal experience, it's really fun, hence is why I'm making this video, and I'll get into that later. But for starters, this game has amassed a following in Japan and in other Asian countries, such as Korea, the Philippines, and Indonesia. While stateside, it's pretty obscure, and I can only hope that it becomes as popular as DDR in America. In order to play the game, basically you have to stand on this dance pad, which is full of little IR sensors that detect your movement. If you're familiar in any way with dance pad games such as DDR or Pump It Up, you'll notice that there are no dedicated buttons like arrow panels to push. This is because the dance pad does away with these buttons altogether and instead opt for the whole dance pad to be just one huge button, which actually allows for more styles of play. Moving on from the actual control scheme, how you play is pretty much what you would expect from your standard rhythm game. First, you select your song, and once you select your song, notes will begin to fall down into a dark line called the judgment line, and you must step on that note in time with the music. This is probably the most bare bones explanation on how to play, as there are other moves such as shuffling and slides, but the game is intuitive enough that you could pick it up once you actually start playing. Anyway, now that you know the basics of Dancerush, here's why you should play this game whenever you get the chance to. The reason I would recommend this game, especially to those new to rhythm games, is that rhythm games in general tend to be very intimidating due to the steep learning curve and complex control schemes. It also doesn't really help when you see people going hard on the Pump It Up machines, as seen in this video that you probably have seen. It's impressive, but it's something that will take time, effort, and a lot of money to master. In contrast, Dancerush is much more forgiving and accessible to new players due to its simplistic control scheme, thus having a learning curve friendly to beginners, which makes it an ideal choice for those who want to get into rhythm games or to just have fun in the arcade. But don't be deceived, because while it is easy to pick up and play, it is a game that is hard to master, but in a way that's unique to other games. What makes the game rewarding to master is not the fact that you would be able to play harder songs like in other rhythm games, where you mainly concentrate on your dexterity or footwork. It's actually the fact that in order to get really good and to impress the crowd, you would need to get a bit creative. This is because while most other rhythm games test your proficiency in sight reading notes, Dancerush is geared towards freestyling and actual, dancing. But even if you can't dance, don't worry, I can't either, it's all good because you don't have to style and still be able to impress your friends by just playing for score. This actually leads to two types of playstyles that tend to have more overlap than most other rhythm games. We in the rhythm game community call these playstyles technical and freestyle. Technical players are people who generally play more for score rather than style. Notable players in this category would include top players such as Zayek or Fefem. Freestyle is essentially the opposite, where people generally put more emphasis on looking cool rather than their score. Notable examples would include Hitsui as seen in their performances. Though in my opinion, the genius of Dancerush is that its gameplay allows overlap of these two playstyles. You can see this if you ever watch any of Riri's videos on Dancerush. In contrast to this style of play, we have games like DDR where there is barely any overlap, as people who pick hard charts will have a much harder time freestyling. Take for example Max 300 on expert difficulty for DDR. Yeah, I don't think anyone will be able to dance to that anytime soon. Whereas in Dancerush, you can pick a hard chart and still have the flexibility to express yourself. This has led to top players being able to entertain the crowd with creative dance moves, while still being able to hit the notes, as seen in tournaments such as the Konami Arcade Championship. You can even search up Dancerush on YouTube and be bombarded with videos of people playing the game, each with their own style, and even some creative ways to play the game, such as the 6-man Dancerush train. I played the whole thing, but it'd make the video longer than it should be, but it is something that you should look up. It's amazing. Besides the technical aspect of the game, there are actually tournaments that solely concentrate on the freestyle aspect of the game, such as the New Decade tournament held in Round 1 San Jose earlier this year. In fact, as you can see, I actually competed in this freestyle tournament. Sadly, I didn't win, but hey, I had fun even though the routine was kinda sloppy, and I can't help but cringe whenever I'm watching it. Anyway, long story short is that you should play Dancerush, because it's a rhythm game that can appeal to everyone, to the guy who doesn't normally play games, to the casual and hardcore rhythm gamers. So yeah, go play it. It's definitely a new experience, and it's pretty good exercise too. Now, if I have somehow convinced you to play Dancerush, there are some things that you should know. As arcades are not very prevalent in America compared to Japan, along with the fact that rhythm games in general are very niche, there aren't a lot of places to play Dancerush, and I can only wish that Konami will just give the game more support and that it becomes mainstream, so that Konami doesn't just kill off the game like many of its other rhythm games, and also so that more arcades will actually have the game. But alas, the only places in the United States with a Dancerush machine at the moment can only be found at Round 1 arcades. So sadly, if you live in California right now, you're gonna have to go to Nevada to play it. So hey, if anyone's playing a trip anytime soon to Reno or Las Vegas, hit me up. But if you live outside of the US, you can also go to sites such as Xenius iVanisher, which is essentially a database of arcades around the world, and you can use it to find arcades with a Dancerush machine. Other than that, I have nothing else much to say, but play Dancerush. It is a unique experience and it is something that can appeal to everyone. Although if you're going to play, especially in the long term, do consider buying an e-amusement pass, as it essentially works as an online profile. It holds save data and it gives you the ability to unlock more songs. As an added bonus, your first game is free, and it works across all Bimani games. so you could use it if you want to play other Bimani titles. If you want to learn more about Dancerush or rhythm games in general, I would highly recommend the video An Introduction to Music Games by Sylvain Hunter. I would also like to give a shout out to the Dancerush Discord server, as they are a great community of players and they help me out a bit with a script. I'll put a link to the server in the description below and you'll find people more than willing to help you out. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and if there are any other rhythm games to talk about, do leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.